Hello everybody. So as you can see, I have a video here for everybody to enjoy. It's my Biology 12 project. Now I'm just saying this little dealy here before the video actually starts because now originally my intention had been to pull a John Hammond up in front of the class. What I would do is I was going to have the character up on screen talk back to me as I talked to the class a little bit. Unfortunately, for certain reasons, I was not able to do this. So instead you hear the unedited version of me talking to myself. That may sound a little weird, but I just decided that I should get that out of the way and let everybody know what's going on so that you don't think I'm insane. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of the movie, and just so you know, we may at some point decide to edit the beginning to make it more interesting for everybody else, but for now it has to stay as it is. Hello everybody. So I decided to do a video project for my biology project, and here it is. As you can see up on screen, I have a little video game me. You jerk. I beg your pardon? I said you jerk. People died to make this movie for you. People died. I can't believe you. Yeah, they were video game characters, so moving on. I am not going to move on. Okay, well, this was my video game self. So I'm going to let him take the stage, and he's going to tell you about white blood cells for today. Begrudgingly. Jerk. Well, yeah, I guess I may as well tell you the basic storyline behind all this is, so basically this is a representation of what white blood cells in real life would be like. So, for this, we decided to go with a political analogy. The white blood cells would be the glorious and great United States of America, the 50s United States of America. And the enemies, the antigens, are the evil, dirty, filthy, horrible, murderous commies. Yeah. So, basically our story is set in 1950s. United States, China, and USSR are at war. And, well, let's just say the US is in a bit of a mess right now. You'll soon find out how. My fellow Americans, today we face a horrible travesty against our wonderful nation. The USSR and the People's Republic of China have declared war against our wonderful nation. As you may know, they are already invading and bombing our precious country. But they may not know that we are preparing commando units right now to invade the tower in which they occupy currently, to destroy the general which is leading this invasion. Once he is taken care of, we will fight back, we will win this war, and we will free our country from these oppressors. They will know that the United States is not to be trifled with, and they will know what happens when you do trifle with us. Thank you, my fellow Americans. This is your president. So you want to know about white blood cells? Well, let me tell you a bit about them. White blood cells, another name for them is leukocytes, which is Greek for being white. Leuko is, I don't know what the rest is, so let's just forget about that. Anyways, they are the cells of the immune system, and they are involved in defending the body against both infectious disease and foreign materials. So there are two main basic kinds of white blood cells. There are granulocytes, which are leukocytes that are characterized by the presence of differently staining granules in their cytoplasm. To those of you that don't know what that means, that pretty much just means that it looks kind of grainy-ish on the inside. Kind of like whole wheat bread, you might almost say. And then there are also agranulocytes, which are leukocytes that don't actually have any of the granule things, any grains or whole wheatness, you might say, to it. Or to the more scientific people, the absence of granules in their cytoplasm. So within the two main kinds of white blood cells, there are other smaller kinds. There are the neutrophils, which mainly target bacteria and fungi. They also have multi-lobed nucleuses, and their granules are quite fine and faintly pink. They're created in the spleen. After that, there are the eosinophils, however you pronounce that, which their main targets are larger parasites, and also they modulate allergic inflammatory responses. So I guess that would be to say if you got a bee sting, it would, inflame that area to get rid of the poison. It is bilobed, meaning it has two, and its granules are full of pink-orange. There are also basophils, which release histamine for inflammatory responses, which should, I suppose, be once more if you got injured, an infection, something like that. They are also bilobed, but they can also be trilobed sometimes, and their granules are a large blue. After that, the one that we're going to focus on the most today are the lymphocytes. I'll get to those in a minute, but I'll just finish up talking about the other ones. After that, there are monocytes, which they usually migrate from the bloodstream to other tissues and differentiate into tissue-resident macrophages or dendritic cells. For those of you that don't understand what any of this means, I'm sorry, but you're really just going to have to take biology. Their nucleuses are kind of kidney-shaped, but it does not appear that they have any such granule colors. There are also macrophages, which phagocytosize, which is basically engulfing or digesting cellular debris and pathogens. And they also take part in stimulation of lymphocytes and other immune cells that respond to pathogen. Once more, for those of you that don't know, you really would be better off taking biology. The words are too difficult for me to actually try and explain. And lastly, we have our dendritic cells. Their main function is as an antigen-presenting cell, APC, that activates T lymphocytes. So now that we've talked about all of those, I shall move on to the actual lymphocytes, something that I'm sure you're all interested in learning about, because they're what we are going to focus on today. Now for lymphocytes, I guess I may as well start off by saying, of course, like everything else, they have to have more parts to them. So lymphocytes aren't actually just separate cells them are. They're more of a classification of other cells. So there are about, three main types, the B cells, the T cells, and the natural killer cells. But the main ones, the ones that there are more of, are the T cells. But I'll start with the B cells, of course. So B cells release antibodies that, mostly they pretty much just assist in the activation of T cells, which would basically be the T cells would come out and the B cells would help, send out some antibodies and stuff that would attach then to those T cells and help them to start doing their job, which would be getting rid of the other antigens, the bad guys, let's just say. So natural killer cells, their name really doesn't do them much justice, but they're actually more helpful than one might think. They're a type of cytotoxic lymphocyte that constitutes a major component of the innate immune system. Now, basically, to explain it quite easily, what they do is they help reject tumors and cells infected with viruses by releasing small cytoplasmic granules of proteins called perforin and granzyme. Sorry, I can't read today, apparently. Anyways, but these cause the target cells to die by apoptosis, which would be programmed cell death. Now I'm assuming, because it doesn't give a lot of information here, that would mean that they actually go into these cells and program them to die, which is kind of like a self-destruct mechanism also, you might say. Pretty cool. So there are a couple different kinds of T cells that we will talk about. To begin with, there's the Th cell, which is the T helper cell, which activates and helps regulate T and B cells, much like the B cell, I suppose, except also helping the B cells. There is also the regulatory or suppressor T cells, which help pretty much catch on to other infected cells, viruses, things like that, so that the killer cells can actually kill them or ingest them, actually. After that, there are also the memory cells, which are there to memorize certain viruses, diseases, things like that, which is why we say that no single cold that you will get is the same as the last one, because your body remembers because of these cells. As soon as these cells remember, pretty much any time that same disease gets into your body, it's dead before it can do anything to you. And lastly, there is the cytotoxic T cells. These are pretty much like the natural killer cells, and they go out and they will kill infected tumor cells or just regular infected cells by either eating them or by killing them by releasing antibodies. So I guess one way you'd say that it's almost like a cannibal soldier, which would be really gross. And then the other way, which is far more pleasant, is pretty much just a regular soldier with a gun, shooting his way out of a bunch of dirty, infected enemies, which in this we will call commies, because they're always the enemies. Or so we like to think. And there's one of our boys in armor right now, the T-45D unit. It's a bit older, but it still works like a charm. He would be one of our natural killers, you might say, and he is ever so important in fighting the battle against the filthy communists. But of course, on the battlefield, we like to keep them playing second fiddle for our commanders. And there he stands, the true representation of American ideals. With his shining T-51B armor, this man is a true American hero. As they march across our country ready to kick those filthy communists out to free us from these oppressors, make sure you pay respect, and make sure you remember what America is really about. Warning, this section of our video contains extreme violence. Viewer discretion is advised. Seriously, if you don't want to be scarred for life, I suggest that you stop right now. Seriously. Are you ready to die for your country?
No.
Good, so let's get to this. Time to bomb us some commies. Ready? Let's go. There we go. Let's go kill us some commies now, boy. You ready for this?
No.
Good. Let's go get him, boy. Did you just see that? That was pretty amazing. I'm gonna say that. What do you think about that, soldier?
I thought it was okay.
Good, so let's go kill us some more commies. Look, I can shoot at their buildings. How do you like me now? Alright, finish this shit. Eat this, you commies! Alright, can I hear a hoo-ah?
Shouldn't we go on radio silence?
Okay, we're gonna go sneak up on him now. Okay? I'll go first, you follow. Alright, let's go!
Where? You're a masochist! You like that, you bastard? Need you to mess with me.
Oh, so you, killed him. Oh, good job. Good job.
Thanks.
Alright, well, now that he's dead and they're all dead, I, guess now would be a good time to go home. Let's go grab some lunch. I'll buy.
Oh boy!
Yeah, you could say that.